Is it working? Streaming is working already? Is it? You back home, can you hear us?
Yes.
Good morning. Welcome. This is a dream come true, I must say. Talking about talent in Braga's Economic Week is amazing. It's quite an achievement. And guess what? We won't even complain about talent shortage. We will be focused on keeping up with the serendipitous innovation cycle that we set and started here. And we will talk about how to leverage leadership, how to engage institutions and bring stakeholders together, just like we did until here, and how to open up doors for the future. And I won't take any longer. Let's keep up with our agenda. But please, let's rehearse a pretty good, warm welcome to our mayor, Ricardo Rio, to tell us about how Braga became a talent hotbed. Welcome, Ricardo.
Good morning, everyone. Dear Sheikh Mansour, dear Jerry, Lorenzo, Patricia, and all the other participants in this session. It's obviously a huge pleasure to gather such a acknowledged group of people that are very aligned in the same purposes and views on how territories can develop. And I will start by, first of all, excusing myself for this delay. I wasn't held in the traffic. It was for two other reasons. The first one was I had to spend a lot of time praying for the rain to stop so that we could enjoy Braga Romana fully. And the second one is that this economic week is spread with a lot of initiatives and a lot of interesting initiatives, and I had to be in the beginning of another one that is being promoted by DST Group and the Economic School, the translation, the School of Economics of the University of Minho, here in the room next by. And obviously it's a huge pleasure to have this session on talent. Braga is a city that, as I shown yesterday in the Economic Forum, has grown a lot in recent years, has attracted a lot of companies and businesses to the city, has fostered also the entrepreneurial spirit of the territory. And to do so, our main asset, our main competitive advantage is clearly talent. Talent within the institutions that are focused in this strategy. And for that, I would like to give a special remark to Alexandre, because we are reviewing ourselves for a couple of months already, and he was part of this success. He was part of our team, and I think that the people that are part of the team of Invest Braga, Startup Braga, like Luis, now Gil Carvalho, many others that are here, are the key for our success, but also the talent that is beyond our walls, the talent that is available not only in this territory, not only in the country, but in the world. And I think that one of the main ideas that will come to this session is that we are addressing an issue that is not looking into a specific territory, is a global view. We are talking about global talent, we are talking about global cities, we are talking about a strategy that must link internationally these cities that have a common view, that can obviously create conditions for this talent to be shared between different territories, and together with those partnerships like the one that we are going to celebrate here today between Braga and also together with the Sheikh Mansour, we will obviously create conditions for the sustainability of this strategy, because this is not a moment. This is something that has to be continuous, fostered, that has to be strengthened, and that needs the continuous commitment of all the stakeholders for that to happen. And so I think that in the perspective of the city, what we have to provide is conditions for this talent to, first of all, get to know the city of Braga, and that's something that we did a lot in recent years to promote the city. I think that there's a virtuous circle between promoting a city, attracting visitors to the city. The visitors get to know the city, they fall in love with the city, they come to live here, they come to work here, they come to study here, they come to invest here, and all this continuous movement obviously creates conditions for the city to foster, to create new opportunities, and to obviously sustain throughout the years the attractiveness of the city. I say it a lot of times. Currently, we are not looking for more companies. We are looking for more people, because people bring companies. And if we have the people available and if we have the talent available, companies will come for sure. And that's why we are working so hard in fostering this talent perspective. Obviously, this is not something that we should do on our own. Braga has also followed a very strong internationalization process throughout the years, and this is also going to be something that we need to strengthen in the near future. I think that this area of the Middle East is obviously a land of opportunities. Sorry, Jerry, USA is not the land of opportunities anymore, but the Middle East it is right now, and obviously we are looking and working very hard to strengthen our relations with this space of the globe. As some of you may know, Braga is also a city very committed with, for instance, sustainability issues. We have signed a couple of months ago a specific memorandum of understanding with the city of Masdar in the Emirates to develop new projects and new solutions for the urban planning of a city, and we are also extending these partnerships together with Sheikh Mansour for the entrepreneurial, for the innovative, and for the talent perspective. And so I hope that this session will be very, very interesting in sharing the experience, the projects of many, many of our partners, like the ones that we have here, that will obviously assure you that Braga won't stop in this road to success. Thank you very much.
It's even hard to acknowledge how the city landscape has been changing in the last 10 years. It's quite an exercise to understand the fully transformation that we went by in what comes to local businesses, communities, nationalities, and this virtual cycle where people look for Braga to settle here because they see a number of different conditions that enable life. But this comes as a consequence of a strategy of many stakeholders coming together and agreeing on some principles. And it's about time to acknowledge that Braga is being seen globally, acknowledged internationally as a case. And this is the right timing to raise the bar again. And to help us raise the bar, who would be better than Sheikh Mansour to help us understand what and how can we put in practice in what comes to quality of talent-based economy. How can we do this? But mostly, how can we think about this? If we think, most likely, we can achieve it. So, the warmest applause for our keynote speaker, Excellency Sheikh Mansour. Welcome.
Thank you. Let me have some water. So I'm looking to give you more time. Because this is super exciting. It's beyond my expectation. And I think I have to be ready. Which I am. Very excited. Mayor Ryu, thank you so much. This is beyond imagination. It's a dream becoming true. And you may be like surprised. This is Braga. I'm not talking about Doha. This is Braga. So how I'm so happy, so excited. And this is the essence of the future economy, the global talent-based economy. We have to work together. We are in one planet. People, when they ask me, where are you based? For the last few years, my answer professionally and really, I am based on planet Earth. So it's not a joke. It's not. People thought at the beginning I'm joking, but it's not. I'm mentoring and coaching. I'm a global mentor, a global coach, and a global. I don't like to just make it a global investor, but it is what it is. But I'm more of a serial entrepreneur, a global citizens that want to have a better planet for our grandchildren, where we can have a better place to, for our grandchildren to remember us in a good way, which is, I think it's not happening today yet. But seeing people like Mayor Rio, paradigm shifting a city that has been there forever, but what happened? Something happened. And this is what we are talking about. So I just prepared some notes to remind me. And one, before I continue, I haven't heard this statement anywhere in the planet before, with all leaders. We are not looking for companies. We are not looking for startups. We are looking for talents. First time I'm hearing it today, which is what I am believing in, and that's why I'm super excited. I'm so impressed, and I think we are lucky to have Mayor Rio with us to show the whole world an example of a paradigm shift of a city that has been there forever. But what's happening now? It went from national recognition to regional recognition to global recognition. Still the same place, the same building. So what's the difference? The difference is the talent, is the mindset, actually, that drive talent. So are we happy with the current global economy system, ecosystem? I would like to answer, but I think we have a common answer on this, because we see what's happening. We are really not in control of anything. Things have just been around us, and the global economy is just going up and down. Okay, why I'm affected and I'm not really playing much of a role? So it's not really fair what's happening. So, if you would like to answer something, we'll make it interactive. So what do you think about the current global economy? Are we happy with it? Is it something that we are enjoying? Is it globally distributed fairly? How can we do better? This is something I've been always asking myself, how can we do better? So being an entrepreneur and a global ecosystem builder, I always want to push the borders and want to do something better for our future and grandchildren. So I came up with this global ecosystem that based on very simple 2 pillars that because simplicity is the best. If you can simplify anything, you can achieve much more. So I kind of probably oversimplify it, but it's great, so we can start with a simple pillars. So the global ecosystem based on 2 pillars only: trust and fairness. Trust to start, fairness to last. I know trust is, people think it's difficult. Trust me, fairness is more difficult. It's not easy. It's multi-dimensional thing. As a human, as people, we need respect, dignity, freedom. Freedom, not easy. And fairness cannot be there without a freedom. So it's way beyond just a simple wording. And what is a quality talent economy? What is it? I invented this. It's not there, but I invented this because of a need. I think this is a need that needs to be done, which is awesomely, surprisingly, positively, Braga is demonstrating it, which is, I'm so proud and happy to know Mayor Rio and to be part of this awesome city. So it's actually a very simple. It's the ability to access global talent, attract them to foster local economical sustainable growth. So it's a sustainable growth. It's not just a growth. It's not only sustainability. It's not only growth. It's a sustainable growth. And you achieved it by accessing all these global quality talent and attracting them. But we can think even beyond that by having collaboration and doing this in more cities around the world and create this global bridge that can create a higher quality exchange I was yesterday in the INL, which is an awesome, more than 100 nationalities of scientists and professors and engineers in one place, location, collaborating with the whole planet, more than 20 plus countries. I forgot the number of countries. So, which is awesome, and hopefully we'll add more now with Qatar. So, the foundation, as I said, is the trust and fairness, but also we need to have a better mindset where we can really leverage that. So we are innovating in products, we are innovating in services, we are innovating in technology, we are innovating in a lot of things, but we have to innovate in us. We need to innovate our mindset. So I call it innovating innovation, innovating beyond. So we focused on everything around us, and we forgot us. It sounds funny, but truly, if you think about it, even when we evaluate anything, we see always what? We don't see who, what they are doing. Oh, this is great. We don't really focus on who, because who is the reason what is great. So if we focus on who, we will have a greater what. So this will evolve. So innovating innovation is how we can evolve in our relations and have a global citizen working as a global citizen. I know we all born in a place and we love our place. It's not conflicting. It's not against that. I will be always proud of Doha, of my place, but I will be always caring about my people, my friends. I care about Braga the same way I care about Doha, because we are on the same planet. It will affect me somehow. And we have to evolve. We have to go beyond our us, me, or we have to be we, and do it together and help each other and care about each other. I remember Qatar Development Bank is doing a lot of startups and mentoring and coaching, incubating and accelerating, and people start coming to MBK Holding, and they leave QDB. They say, we are with MBK Holding, we don't need you. MBK Holding is my own holding company that I usually do a lot of virtual incubation, acceleration, mentoring, and coaching on a global level. So the management, they say, what are you doing? I mean, how you are doing this? I said, nothing. There is nothing that I can think of that I'm doing different. Then I said, there is one thing probably. I do care from my heart. So I think caring is something so important, and I think this is what Mayor Rio is doing. He really cares. And that caring really creates a magnet. It's a global magnet. It's attracting the good people, the good-hearted people. And when I say quality talent, I think this is really important. It's about the heart before the brain. It's not only the brain, because probably with the new AI now, you will have a better brains than us, but they will never have a heart. So the heart is the most important thing. So I think I don't want to really spend a lot of time, but I really wanted to give you the messages of the quality talent-based economy is beyond digital economy, it's beyond knowledge economy, it's actually the foundation of all of them. It's the people economy, it's the community economy, it's us. We should really care about us and think about us. And I'll finish with my personal mission statement. We innovate innovation with the quality talent for better sustainable future. We innovate innovation where I described it, that it's about us. How can we evolve and be beyond and try to innovate in our relations, people's relations, innovations, with the quality talent for better sustainable future. We need that. Our grandchildren will be looking for us, what we are doing. So hopefully, with you all, with the leadership of Mayor Rio, we will be able to set up an example that we can take globally and build more global cities that can foster this collaboration for a better sustainable future. And thank you so much.
Okay, so should we sign now? Okay. As great minds think alike, and we need to start putting things moving forward, I think we have a great moment to sign a contract where we will share some principles and visions for the future. So let's welcome to the stage again Mayor Rio and Sheikh Mansour. Some celebration toward the commitment to the future. Let's go. Fantastic. Let's welcome to the stage our first panel. And I'll be moderating the conversation because the cachet was easier that way. So I'm Alex, I'll be your moderator, and please welcome to the stage to talk about talent imperative, Rui Marques. Where are you, Rui? Oh, here. Welcome Rui Marques to the stage from Associação Empresarial de Braga, Lorenzo Pastrana from INL, Ricardo Leitão from Mercedes-Benz IO, and I believe we will manage to have Paula Castillo from Costa Rica, remotely, I believe. There you are, Paula. It's really late for you, right? So generous of you. Thanks for joining. And we also have from California, Brett. How are you, Brett? We can't hear you. But it's also really late for you. But it's California. You have a pretty good life there. So we're jealous. Thanks for joining. Have a seat. Excuse me. Okay, let's talk about the talent imperative, because this is this is not vaporware. We talk about real impact and real cities transformations. And one of the leading transformations that we can witness and experience in Braga is the amount of new companies that moved in. And Mercedes-Benz was one of those. What brought you here? And perhaps you can also, Ricardo, grab the chance to introduce yourself and let us know why Mercedes decided to settle in Braga.
Of course, so welcome. So good morning to everyone first, and thank you for having me here in representation of Mercedes-Benz IO. So my name is Ricardo. I'm the currently head of finance and procurement for the corporate for Portugal. So for the ones that don't know so well Mercedes-Benz IO, so just a quick introduction. So it's a company that it's 100% that belongs to the group of Mercedes-Benz, and it's focused to the development, all the digital transformation of the group. It develops products or solutions such as the global website, or even the car configurator that we all go and try to configure our Mercedes-Benz car, or the app that we all have now when we have a car in our mobile. We developed all those solutions for more than 60 markets globally, and we develop mainly with professionals that are located in Portugal and in Germany. In total, we are now more than 680 professionals, from which 474 are residents in Portugal. And that's something that started in 2017, when we based our first office in Lisbon, and start growing from there to develop and bring these solutions for the group. More recently, we come to Braga, and we found Braga as the perfect spot to continue growing and to give and bring these solutions to the group, and obviously overcome the challenges that we can imagine in all this digital transformation that we are all living. And basically with that, so that was basically. We are now in Braga with more than 130 professionals since 2022, which for us is an amazing growth, and is more than bringing all that above our expectations so far.
Amazing. It's always interesting to understand that this idea of German engineering as a Portuguese dent in there. So it's really cool to see that digital transformation is being quite leveraged by the Portuguese teams settled in Portugal. How was that process of establishing the operations in Lisbon and then coming or finding a new city to settle other team? And how did Braga got a spotlight in your radar there?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Portugal, and basically the decision of settle operation such like ours runs several criteria, right? But Portugal was one of the in the radar from the start, not only for the entrepreneur spirit that we see for in Portugal professionals that we can see, and many examples of that present in the past, and Portugal is well known to have great professionals, and mainly in this area of technologic and digital talents, let's say. And when we decide to come to Portugal and settle the operation here, basically we start with Lisbon, and basically one of the criteria that we use is obviously the identification of the talent and the quality of the talent. And when we the spot that we identified Braga as one of the key cities, a part of those, of having the talent and a great talent and a good quality, was also the relationship with the local authorities and the institutions, which for us in our criteria is also very important to create and get that balance in our professionals and also in our, let's say, operation. And Braga brought that and give us that opportunity to spot and see Braga allow us to settle down this balanced collaboration in a way that we can operate with institutions, with the local authorities, and also obviously that we can extrapolate and can create a base for growth talent and for the future in a sustainable way.
Amazing. Lorenzo, talking about INL, INL is not only a center of research excellency, but also a cell of cosmopolitan life for the city, and also of industrial impact. How have you been seeing the evolution of INL's impact in the city and overall in the economic tissue? And again, please introduce yourself, say hi to the people, It's Lorenzo. Amazing to have dinner with him.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the invitation. I am here representing INL. INL is the International Iberian Nanotechnology Laboratory. It's not by chance that INL is based here in Braga. Regarding myself, well, I am the true Portuguese from the north, so I am Galego from Vigo, so I am the real Portuguese of the north. No, I say that because this is true. So at INL, we are working around 40 different nationalities. This is a center that attracts talent from outside. We operate all globally around the world, so this is our aim to develop science and to develop technologies, but collaborating, we have no limits regarding this. But we are based here, and this is something that is important because it's not by chance that we are here. It's because the decision to install our headquarters and our labs here is to contribute to develop this area. So this is something that is interesting to think about because we operate, okay, globally, but from here, developing this ecosystem first. And this is something that during this, I am here since 2015, so I am full professor in Spain at the university, but I was seduced by the, not only by the city, by the project as well, and right now I am, how do you say that? I think that I am myself a good example how I became a Bracarense. I pay my taxes here. I have an apartment here, so I transform my life. And this is not only in my case. So many people that are working at INL embrace the city as a good place to develop their lives. So we contribute not only developing science, but we contribute as well as citizens of this place, creating these dynamics, different dynamics with different cultures that are merged in the city. And since 2015, I saw how this city transformed to a very cosmopolitan place where it's a fantastic and safe place to work. So this is fantastic. The only thing that, from my point of view as Galego, that is missing is the tapas. But that we can fix. No, seriously. So I think that it's not by chance. INL is contributing to transform the city, but as well the city is an important place to project our activities outside these borders of the city. And we are very happy to help and to contribute because it's really a synergy working together with this ecosystem. We do science, but we try to translate the science and to innovate, to transfer this knowledge to the companies. And this activity starts here, in this ecosystem, in this region.
I couldn't agree more. We miss tapas, but we have petiscos. Sheikh Mansour, if you want to postpone your flight back, I can introduce you to petiscos around here. Pretty good. Jerry, you're going to love it too. So food actually represents a great slice of our culture and way of doing things. And something that I was also noticing during this conversation is that suddenly AI is also participating in this conversation. I'm not sure if you noticed how AI is translating our conversation around here. And when Mayor Rio was talking, I was laughing how AI was translating Rio. It was almost Japanese spelling. It was interesting. So it's not fully working, but we can give it a test again. And Rui, go ahead. Lorenzo and Ricardo were alluding to this fact that we bring people together, we attract talent here, and the city evolves as an organic system. And you're at the forefront of that experience. You notice that on a daily basis because your daily routine is to talk with business people at the city center, but also in the network of companies and industries that are, say, legacy businesses established in Braga. How do you see this evolution of Braga and the entrepreneurs here also trying to match this new talent influx expectations in what comes to, for instance, a more cosmopolitan offer in what comes to shopping or lifestyle, for instance?
Well, hello to everyone. I'm sorry, but I will speak in Portuguese. My English is not
AI is
good
great
enough.
at translating, don't worry.
Obrigado. Eu sou o diretor-geral da Associação Empresarial de Braga, que é a Câmara de Comércio e Indústria daqui do Distrito de Braga. Somos uma associação empresarial muito antiga, com 160 anos de existência ou de experiência, e agregamos e representamos os interesses das empresas desta região, independentemente da dimensão ou do setor de atividade. Braga, de facto, tem sido um caso extraordinário de sucesso, de atração de talento e de empresas multinacionais, que nos tem dado um boost adicional para o desenvolvimento da nossa cidade. Eu acho que acontece isso muito porque Braga é uma cidade sexy, é uma cidade que de facto está na moda. Temos as pessoas, temos os recursos humanos, temos um ecossistema de inovação vibrante e que funciona, mas eu acho que é o sucesso da própria cidade que faz com que Braga seja escolhida. Braga, de facto, é uma cidade incrível para se viver, para se trabalhar, para se investir, para se visitar ou para se trabalhar. E, ao fim e ao cabo, acho que é por causa disso que quem vem de fora escolhe Braga. Nós temos uma escala muito humana, não somos uma grande cidade, com as desvantagens que daí decorrem, mas também não somos uma cidade muito pequenina de bairro, portanto, temos uma dimensão que é agradável para qualquer ser humano, aquilo que nós temos notado ao longo destes últimos anos, com a chegada de muitas pessoas de nacionalidades estrangeiras a Braga e profissionais altamente qualificados, é que isto tem ajudado a cidade, de facto, a transformar-se. Tem sido um grande desafio, mas tem representado uma grande oportunidade para muitas empresas. Vemos negócios a reinventar-se. Durante muitos anos nós trabalhávamos única e exclusivamente para os cidadãos locais e para aqui para os vizinhos, e hoje verdadeiramente trabalhamos para cidadãos do mundo. Temos clientes de todas as nacionalidades, todos os dias, a entrar pelas lojas, dentro, pelos espaços comerciais, e isto obriga a repensar estratégias. Mas, obviamente, isto está a provocar grande dinamismo e Braga, aquilo que eu sinto é que estamos, como há pouco o Presidente Ricardo Rio dizia, num ciclo virtuoso de que crescimento está a gerar novo crescimento. E, portanto, Braga está numa liderança muito firme em Portugal do ponto de vista demográfico e económico, e eu acho que isto vai continuar a acontecer por muitos e bons anos, porque, de facto, temos tudo muito bem sustentado.
How was the AI translation? Good? Okay, I can see the screen here. So, yeah, I have a follow-up question. You have a leading role in helping these business people keep up to the pace, and like you said, growing always brings these tensions. How is it the experience? How can we help these business people keep growing and attracting the right talent to enable the second generation of these businesses?
Esse é um grande desafio que temos na cidade, eu diria no mundo. Como é que nós conseguimos manter num convívio saudável as pequenas empresas locais com as multinacionais que estão a chegar e que têm, obviamente, outras condições para competir no mercado, para atrair e reter talento. E, desse ponto de vista, é importante que nós tenhamos uma liderança muito firme da parte das autoridades locais e dos sistemas de ensino, das instituições de ensino superior, políticas ativas para tentar trazer para bordo as micro e as pequenas empresas. Este ecossistema de inovação, muitas vezes, é frequentado por um conjunto de instituições relativamente restrito. Multinacionais, profissionais altamente qualificados, sistemas de ensino, centros de investigação e médias e grandes empresas. Nós temos que conseguir também trazer para estes processos de inovação, de investigação, de desenvolvimento, as micro e pequenas empresas. Obviamente que é difícil, mas é importante que isto aconteça, porque senão a decalagem entre estas empresas vai cada vez ser maior. Temos de ter sistemas que sejam inclusivos e que tragam, no fundo, para bordo estas empresas. Mas, atenção, eu acho que é extremamente positivo esta capacidade que hoje Braga tem de atrair multinacionais para aqui, porque elas depois conseguem contagiar de forma muito positiva todo o ecossistema empresarial que aqui está. Temos oportunidade de as pessoas que são formadas em Braga, que são daqui da nossa região, muitas vezes terem oportunidades de trabalho nestas empresas, vão aí beber de muito conhecimento, de práticas de gestão muito avançadas, que habitualmente não temos em micro e pequenas empresas, e alguns no tempo, estas pessoas vão acabar depois por voltar às empresas locais e levar estes ensinamentos e dar-lhe depois um clique para que elas também, no fundo, profissionalizem as suas práticas de gestão e comecem a olhar para as práticas de inovação de forma mais consistente. Vamos ter oportunidades também para aceder a novos mercados, muitas vezes à boleia destas empresas de maior dimensão que levam a reboque toda a cadeia de valor que existe localmente e, portanto, acredito firmemente que com o compromisso que em Braga hoje temos de autoridades locais, sistemas de ensino, ecossistema empresarial, que continuaremos a ser bem-sucedidos e a fazer com que as micros se tornem pequenas, as pequenas se tornem médias, as médias se tornem cada vez maiores e assim continuarmos a prosperar.
Yeah, you allude there to a very important characteristic here that is not related. This is not an elitist approach. We are trying to be inclusive in bringing everyone internally. And being inclusive is also bringing closer our friends that are following us or participating in this roundtable remotely. How are you, Brett and Paula? All good? Still awake? So they are around 7 to 8 hours behind, so it's quite an effort to be here, but actually a privilege for us. Paula, I'm really jealous that you were so quick in Costa Rica to start drafting an AI agenda for the country. And you were one of the leaders setting the pace, setting the tone, putting the topic in the agenda. And it wouldn't be 2024 if we wouldn't be talking about AI. So walk us through that process and how can we embrace AI as a new technology, or really every new technology wave that we can think of, bring those topics to the stakeholders' decision agenda and make things happen.
Well, good morning from Costa Rica. Thank you very much for the opportunity to sharing here with you. Yes, during the time I was appointed as Minister of Science and Technology and Innovation, I was in charge of starting a national strategy for artificial intelligence, and which was recently launched. I didn't have time to launch that during my appointment. There were elections, so I'm very glad to say that the new government took over that task and completed it, so that now we have this national strategy. Well, one of the things I have noticed is that, of course, technology is being developed in such a fast way that it's very difficult to cope with that. Somehow we need to start, let's say, or to keep always thinking about what the future will bring and try to imagine that future and what challenges that will bring. In terms of preparing the professionals that will use that technology, in terms of preparing the decision makers for what could come and what could be the potential consequences. And also, okay, if that will be coming, are we prepared? How are we going to face this? And is our population prepared to agree on using this new technology? Because that's something that we have seen. There is all these new technologies are difficult to understand for the majority of the population. You know, they hear there is this this thing called, for example, artificial intelligence, but what is it or how it will influence my life? It's very difficult for them to understand, you know, and to imagine what, for example, that if you submit a CV, that probably an artificial intelligence algorithm will be assessing your CV instead of a human. You know, so it's difficult to explain that to people in such a way that they say, "Oh, I really should matter about this. I mean, that really matters to me." However, I have had a good experience on, let's say, bringing, in general, the academic sector and the decision-making sector come together and speak. And what I see is that usually, for example, our people at the Congress, they really want to help, but they need all this information in an understandable way. You know, someone who lets them know what could be the possible implications and what could be the possibilities. Is this science fiction or is this a reality that I will be facing today, tomorrow, not in 20 years? So what I have seen is that bringing people from the academia to all these conversations, for example, at the Congress, also when we plan this public policy, bringing the academia to explain to others what is this in a very easy way, really help a lot to raise interest of the decision makers. And also, it's important to somehow foster these links so that they become permanent and that they consider academia and companies as friends, you know, that you can count on when you need to understand and to regulate all these new topics. The
Paula,
different activities we have done for that have helped a lot.
Sorry, Paula, to step in. I'm just curious about that process because it was very a thorough approach there because you combined technology, information, and the explanation about the potential with this entanglement around how people could leverage the technology. So I know what it's like to pitch a new technology or a new opportunity to decision makers and the usual immune system that holds back a reaction. Can you walk us through how did you create momentum and made it inevitable for them to participate? Because sometimes these new technology waves are so, say, overwhelming that people tend to hold back. And what you successfully and very inspiring did there was to create a very actionable agenda that people could start putting in place in their regular lives. How was that process like?
Well, we first, let's say, identified our champions, yes. For example, women congressmen and other people in the different institutions that could really benefit from artificial intelligence in their operations, let's say, or that at some point will have to do with the regulation of that. So we said, let's look for these champions that are enthusiastic about technology, and let's talk to them and say, have you heard about artificial intelligence? Do you like to know more? Can we somehow help you to understand this in a better way? So we have had good experiences on these people organizing, for example, panels and such kind of events where we can come together and we invite several experts from the industry, from the academia, and ask them to explain us about these possibilities. That calls the attention of all these people, and they say, okay, that is something I should really take care of. As part of my job in the institution I am, as part of the regulations, I will need to be defining. Then now I know who I can ask about this, and now I know what the future could bring. And that created this great positive synergy in which also let's say, people surrounding these decision makers were involved. There is people always, as we say, talking to the ear of those who make decisions. So we need them all to understand these issues and these possibilities too. And that started all the process.
It's interesting that at times when we are stakeholders or politicians or have these executive roles, we think that legacy is a building, a bridge, some sort of real estate. But I would say that this AI agenda that you managed to lead is quite a legacy. Congratulations on that, Paula. It's fascinating. Brett, welcome. Thanks for joining again. How's life in California? Tell us about this Chamber of Commerce that you're introducing here. And it's really, I don't know, we Portuguese, we have this thing. We always look up to other places, and we have this immigration vibe where we tend to feel that other countries are always better than ours. But for all those that still stay here and believe in the country and have been trying to carve a better place, we are now experiencing a wave of fellow Americans moving into Portugal, perhaps even your friends or neighbors from California, which is kind of weird. And in fact, there's also some investors around Portugal talking about making Portugal, or some places in Portugal, or some concepts in Portugal, like the California of Europe. So we like to learn from other places in the world, and obviously California as an amazing long list of achievements as an ecosystem, and it keeps surviving year after year, decade after decade, and that's fascinating. What made you see Braga? Just a second, because we are not hearing you, Brett. Still. Can you hear it? Sorry, Brett, we are experiencing some issues, because it's always good to talk about technology, but in the end, there's still so much to improve.
How about now?
You're
Can you hear me
here.
now?
You're here.
Hello?
We can hear you. Thank you, Brad.
Okay, wonderful. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to participate. And I'm in Carlsbad, California, so I'm just outside of the city of San Diego. And our Chamber of Commerce, as you mentioned, we have over 1,000 businesses that we have as members and that we represent and engage with. And yes, I was at a breakfast last week with the governor of California, and he was talking about how he still sees us as the, envy of everybody's eye. But those of us who are in the trenches know it's not quite so simple. And it is even though we do have a good economic ecosystem, we have challenges as well. And I think what Mayor Rio started with at the very beginning is what we agree with, which is talented people bring companies. 25, 30 years ago, economic development here was all about how do you get the next big company to locate in your community, and that still has some validity to it. But as Mayor Rio pointed out, when you bring talented people, they bring innovation, they bring companies, they bring opportunities with them, and they create where they go. And so that's definitely been a shift over the last generation. And then when COVID arrived and everybody went on lockdown, we even got more familiar and more aware of that trend as we saw more and more people work remote and make decisions about where they wanted to be. Like the gentleman who was speaking in Portuguese said about quality of life metrics that you have developed so well there in Braga. And we have the same mindset, a good quality of life will attract the right kind of people that we want, to our area. But I think you are correct that a lot of people are looking internationally from, and this also Mayor Rio was teasing that, maybe the United States is not the land of opportunity anymore. And in some ways he's correct in the sense that, we make it difficult for people, especially international people who want to come and be here. It's become very political, unfortunately, and that's a challenge. But we do see people looking to you, to Europe, to Portugal, as a place to go and to work and create and innovate. And I know you've been talking. I loved what Paola was talking about, the pace of technology, and we talk about that challenge here as well. We talk about how students entering university this year will very likely be working in careers that don't even exist today in the very near future, and that's a very big challenge to keep up with that pace of technology. And so we work hard with our universities and colleges and education to work on that. But I don't know if I actually answered your question.
You did. Perhaps you can also build something on how can we cooperate with the Chamber of Commerce, and what can we expect from this cooperation to perhaps start scaling the impact that we are having in Braga and bridge with other locations so that we build this serendipitous network of cities or locations that share vision and principles and also some ideals, but again, also some tactics.
Yeah, well, I think having these kind of conversations is a very good first step, and making connections between both our cities and our chambers are great starting points. And then actually taking the next step of, visiting each other and bringing our leaders to you, and some of yours maybe come visit us, and creating actual bridges where, people could imagine themselves coming and participating and working with some of your companies and some of your companies working with our people and vice versa, so that there's an open door to those conversations and those opportunities. But I think these kind of conversations that we're having today are great starting points that can lead to very practical outcomes of working together.
Great. We're running out of time, and I have this German education that brings me PTSD about time. I would like, though, to go for a final round and hear very quick answers on your sides and on your perspectives on what's this thing of the imperative of talent here? What do we need talent for? And perhaps it would be interesting to commit to the future of talent development strategies in the city, to understand what the different roles here can help and contribute to a talent development, talent attraction, reskilling, engagement, inclusion strategy that we can combine together. For Mercedes IO, what's your view on the talent demand? What are you looking for in people? We have a crowd of institutions, political decision makers, academia, research centers. I hope also some moms that might suggest that it's safe to come to study in Braga and settle in Braga and work for Braga-based companies. What do you expect as a talent manager overall and a company that lives from the best talent in the world?
Well, from a Mercedes-Benz perspective, so talent is really key in our business, let's say. In a focus on digital transformation, you can imagine how quick the evolution is and the challenges that come from that evolution, right? And we are all seeing that in artificial intelligence right now, that a big boom, and what will happen next, right? And what we see that it's one of the keys that we saw, and also why we select also Braga and see Braga as a key for this long-term development, and to fix and to have the right talent for the challenge that we have up front of us. It's definitely be prepared, having this entrepreneur spirit in a way that to overcome the challenges and the barriers that we can face in all our professional challenges that we can face, especially on digital transformation, in which the complexity that we are living today, it's getting bigger and bigger, challenge and challenger, and even more competitive also.
And the digital transformation concept is evolving itself.
And for us, I think it's key, and we have already key partnerships with the local institutions for educational universities mainly, and we want to keep them, but also develop them into beyond. And we believe that we want to bring more real corporate context into the curriculum programs of the educational phase of these professionals, and already given these experiences at this early stage where they are being forged. And I think we believe that by doing that, we are preparing them and giving the opportunity also to embrace these challenges that they're going to face when they start their professional careers. And obviously, by creating that connection, also allow us that they see the organization localized in Braga, in a very great city, with a very balanced ecosystem. And not only for the locals, but also from the people that are abroad, and they are coming. And we have a lot of examples, not only Portuguese, but also people that work with us in Portugal that are coming from different nationalities.
Ricardo, correct me if I'm wrong, because sometimes people tend to distort these things. You're a company based in Braga, and you're here for the long game. You don't plan to leave the city just because. So you're here for the long game, you commit to having a strong impact in the ecosystem and also to give back.
Yes, and the true fact is that we are currently investing to create even better conditions to establish the operation here in Braga, as well in Lisbon, that we already start. But here definitely with the pool of talent that we see and saw in the last 2 years when we start the operation in Braga, definitely was the very good decision. Mm-hmm. And we are currently investing to create this long-term settlement in Braga.
Fantastic news. Lorenzo, INL is one of the epicenters of the city. You've been so successfully at attracting so many different nationalities and actually scaling your teams. What do you expect from the city? How do you look to the future?
Yeah, well, let me say, first of all, one thing is very quick. INL represents about 100 million of investments in terms of most part of them in scientific equipment. But this is just investment. So the value bring from the people that use these equipments. So this is the real importance. So people, talented scientists that are coming here at INL to work with these equipments, with these installations, that are generating knowledge that transform this knowledge and transforming this knowledge in innovation, startups, etc. So this is the real value of INL, how to transform this investment in knowledge and how to transform this knowledge in economic activities for the ecosystem, first here, later on in the world. So this is our aim. Our aim is to bring the most talented people to INL to join us, to try to squeeze all the possibilities, to take advantage of all the possibilities that this scientific infrastructure have. And this is our aim. It's not easy because the market of talented people is quite competitive. So, but I think that Braga bring some attractive as well possibilities to seduce people to join INL. And yeah, of course, I invite all the people that can be interested in how nanotechnology can transform our society to join INL. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely should keep bringing people inside INL to meet more about the potential there. Yeah,
Right.
that's definitely sure. Rui, what are you looking forward the most in what comes to your perspective in how the city and the businesses here are building up for the future?
Eu colocava aqui duas preocupações que me inquietam. Eu acho que uma das grandes dificuldades que nós vivemos em Portugal e em Braga, igualmente, tem a ver com a nossa capacidade de atrair e reter o talento. Somos uma cidade vibrante, com grande dinâmica, mas a verdade é que nós temos um mercado de trabalho que remunera muito abaixo daquilo que são os padrões europeus e, inclusivamente, aquilo que é a prática nas multinacionais. Durante muitos anos nós tivemos a nossa principal vantagem competitiva na competição internacional era termos um custo de mão de obra baixo. Hoje percebemos que isso era errado, que não é sustentável. De facto, as pessoas é que fazem a diferença, mas para termos as pessoas hoje precisamos de lhes dar as melhores condições de trabalho. Há pouco o nosso convidado dizia-nos que hoje nós somos cidadãos do mundo e a verdade é que eu sinto que também somos trabalhadores do mundo. As pessoas hoje têm uma enorme facilidade de mudar de localização para trabalhar, seja para o país vizinho, seja para o outro lado do mundo. E, portanto, com a capacidade que hoje temos de pagar salários, é muito difícil de retermos talento. Agora, isto não acontece porque estalamos os dedos e vamos começar agora a pagar melhor. É um processo. E, portanto, a velocidade com que isto vai acontecer é algo que me preocupa. Porque tem que ser rápida, mas, por outro lado, não pode prejudicar a competitividade das empresas, porque senão morremos pelo caminho. Portanto, tem que ser aqui no balanço certo. E essa é uma dimensão que eu acho que tem que estar nas nossas preocupações. Esta capacidade de nós ajustarmos os nossos estándares salariais e outras regalias para que consigamos reter os talentos portugueses e aqueles que conseguimos atrair, muitas vezes, para estes processos de investigação, que vêm estudar para Braga e que são verdadeiramente decisivos para que possamos continuar a crescer. Por outro lado, há outra dimensão que eu acho que nos deve começar a preocupar, que tem a ver com as tensões que podem haver em situações de crise com o número elevado que hoje temos de cidadãos estrangeiros a viver em cidades como Braga. Em momento, Braga é uma cidade que cosmopolita, que acolhe bem e que integra bem. Isso é ponto assente. E precisamos muito de cidadãos estrangeiros para continuar a crescer, porque, infelizmente, a nossa dinâmica demográfica, e apesar de sermos a cidade que mais cresce em Portugal, mas ainda assim fica aquém daquilo que são as necessidades das empresas e da nossa capacidade de estar a crescer. mas a verdade é que em momentos de crise isto pode começar a ficar tenso. E isto vai-se vendo um bocadinho pela Europa, que há muitas fações mais nacionalistas a prosperar. E, portanto, eu acho que em situações de crescimento isto está tudo muito calmo, mas precisamos de continuar a conseguir integrar bem as comunidades, e há muitas comunidades que se integram com enorme facilidade, mas há outras que por opção ou por alguma dificuldade nossa, têm mais dificuldade de se integrar e, portanto, nesses casos depois as coisas podem ser mais complexas. Só mesmo para terminar, nós tivemos um caso flagrante há pouco tempo, na pandemia. Nós temos uma grande comunidade de cidadãos brasileiros, alguns deles estavam a trabalhar ou estavam até em situação eventualmente irregular em Portugal, e naquela altura, com as empresas a fechar e sem capacidade de terem qualquer tipo de rendimento, eles tiveram que rapidamente regressar, e conseguiram muitos deles regressar, porque se não regressassem provavelmente podíamos ter tensões sociais a acontecer aqui. Portanto, é importante também que tenhamos isso em conta.
That leads me back to Paula, that has shown this very tactical sensitivity on bringing business, technology, and social concerns also. My question to you, Paula, actually is, when are you planning to come to Braga? We definitely would enjoy a masterclass on how to put a proper AI agenda in place and bringing stakeholders together. But my point would be actually to listen very quickly from you and Brett. How can you foresee the future and what we expect about the talent-centered economy?
Well, I was hoping to be there with you today, but unfortunately my current duties didn't make that possible. But I hope there will be an opportunity in the future.
That's good.
Yes. So what shall we expect from this knowledge-based economy in terms of talent? I would say one of the most important things, not only for Braga, but all the world, is that we need talent for what we call in Costa Rica a 3D economy. We need an economy which is digitalized, decentralized, and decarbonized. Those are the three, let's say, pillars in which we can have this very diverse export matrix and also cover the local necessities. And what we expect from that is, as I said, since the changes are very fast, then we need to consider not only the traditional approaches of learning and teaching. We need also to put special focus on continuous education, on things like boot camps and nano degrees, which will, provide this quick adaptation. Yeah. And also to look for talent from the very early stages. For example, in Costa Rica, what we call scientific schools, very young people, and start bringing them to this path. And one of the most important things, I think, for every city is that women must be definitely fostered to be part of these ecosystems. Our experience, which I won't share here because it will take more time, is that non-discriminatory actions are not enough. Yes. We really need affirmative actions. And affirmative actions not necessarily mean that, you always have to have women. It means, for example, when you open a call just for women, and you will find out this very, very pleasant surprises as we did. Yes. And one of the important things is this is not only an economic motivated approach, the smart talent initiatives. It's also really necessary for survival. If you think about the environmental challenges we are facing, you see studies that say not only is we need that for survival,
definitely,
let's say, but also that, for example, not taking action on climate change may cost in the next 30 years 18% of the global gross
sure.
income product. So that means that brings social and economic forces into play, which will be very strong, and that we need somehow to fix in order to have, let's say, stability, global stability.
I have an idea,
but
Paula.
for that, we need technology for solving these problems.
I have an idea. Perhaps we can bring Jerry on board to help us set this up, but perhaps we can think of a follow-up to this panel, which would be bringing you back to Braga, bringing you and your teams and some stakeholders from your locations to Braga, and start working on that boot camp nano degrees inclusion criteria, and start drafting some shared curricula and goals, and then later good practices on how to do it, so that we can keep up the pace here. Otherwise, it's just a panel, and we need to make sure that we are leaving something behind, like you did with your AI agenda. Thank you, Paula. Brett, I'm sorry for rushing you, but perhaps in a minute, what do you expect from the talent-centered economy, and when are you planning to come to Braga?
Well, I agree with everything Paula said, 100%. Get to Braga as soon as I can. And also the need to upskill existing talent and then develop the new talent from the earliest ages. And the development has to be about, making critical thinkers, adaptive talent who can pivot and can, respond as things advance so quickly. But upskilling existing talent with, micro-credentialing and things of that nature to help them become the most, economically viable and also best able to participate in all facets. So, thank you for including me. I know you're short on time, but I'll leave it there.
Thanks for your effort. Specific to you both, I know what it's like to be awake that late, but it definitely was super valuable for us to have you. A big round of applause to Paula, Brett, and all your in-person guests, Rui, Lorenzo, and Ricardo. And thanks for joining us. We need to move on with our agenda. And I'm a awful moderator because I'm running late. None of these topics, though, would happen without fire starters. And we have an amazing fire starter in the room. And she is quite talented in bringing visibility to topics and then starting to draft strategies to bring people on board. And Jerry is not only a fire starter, but also an active, super proactive, following up if things are really happening or not, leader. So, Jerry, it's always a pleasure to have you with us. It's great to catch up, and let us know about this new project about smart cities and the Lighthouse Project.
Thank you. But I think they could hear me anyway. This is a dream come true. We started working on this project, honestly, in 2017. And you just met the person we started working with, Brett Schatzenbach. And we ran an early proof of concept on the idea that I'm going to present to you with Brett. It went very well. And through that, the project became international. And we became internationally known, and we met Mayor Rio. And Mayor Rio was quite intrigued with the idea, and so we started to get to know Braga. And we started to work on a daily basis with Nuno, who is my absolute partner in this. Where is he? Nuno puts all the effort into making the Smart Talent Cities project happen here in Braga. We met Alexander. We met everyone that is in this audience and speaking. And along the way, we met Sheikh Mansour, my dear friend, and I thank him so much for making the trip to be here today, who was traveling down this same path as a thought leader of the talent-based economy. And then this project got more friends. You just met Paola, who's a great friend to the project. Later you'll meet Patrizia. Zhao has been a great friend to the project, and many more of you, Antonio. And so the project started to gain momentum, which brought us to today. So the question becomes, what is the project? What are we talking about? Okay. Well, what we've succeeded in doing here this morning, and I don't know many cities where we've accomplished this so far, I think Braga is a unique lighthouse for us, is talking about the importance of talent, right? It really is talent first. Nothing else happens without talent. So many conversations. We're going to have AI. We're going to have digital transformation. We're going to address sustainable change. Really? How are we going to do all of that without talent? Talent is the beginning. Talent is the end. Talent is the middle. This is a human-centric time. So let's look at smart cities, right? We have energy smart cities, we have transportation smart cities, we have safety smart cities, we have campus smart cities. What about smart talent cities? And hence the idea was born. What about connecting smart talent cities and creating smart talent bridges? What about bridges around cities that are smart talent cities, and those become smart talent hubs? So what I'm doing today is inviting you to join a big experiment. And in this experiment, we're going to look at Doha and Braga. We're going to also look at Costa Rica. We're going to also look at Carlsbad. We're going to also look at a number of cities in Africa and a number of more cities in the EU with Patrizia. And we're going to connect those cities in a way that generates inclusion, in a way that looks to accelerate change. Because one of the things that we haven't talked about yet, talent has changed. Talent itself has changed. Talent is now more independent. Talent is more mobile. Talent is more diverse. And talent has so many options. There's so many certifications and so many e-learning classes, so many ways. There's conferences, they're online, they're virtual, they're in person. And that's amazing. That's also overwhelming. So what we're looking to do is create a structure, a smart talent infrastructure that will allow people through AI to get what they need, to get what they want, to get their own personal talent passport, if you will, between cities that are ready to accept them, cities that are ready to recognize their talent, cities that are cooperating. And our fairly certain theory is that as we connect talent in a more accelerated way, starting with professional schools, starting with Esra Minho, as we do that, all the way up through talent, which today are adults that need to learn much, much, much more quickly, as everyone has said this morning. As we start to do that, that talent will then generate more innovation. That talent will discover their own talent, to quote Sheikh Mansour. That talent will be able to put dreams into reality. So cities that become smart talent cities are the cities that will generate the global economy going forward. Bridges between cities that are smart talent cities will become the new tech talent and trade corridors of the future. These are the cities that will attract more foreign direct investment. These are the cities that will accelerate how quickly people can apply to new projects. So what I'm asking today is I'm asking you to join the project. What I'm looking for is for companies and startups to join the project, to participate with us, to experiment with us on what will be new technology that isn't a new bus or a new subway or a new metro. It's a new piece of smart talent infrastructure so that people can learn to be better at their own cognitive performance, not only their physical performance and their physical health, but their cognitive health, because that's what they will need to be performers in the future. So we're looking for everyone in Braga to join in to this project. We'll be based at Espero Minho. We're looking for Startup Braga to participate and form new talent infrastructure. We're going to come to Mercedes-Benz and ask you, Ricardo, to participate. We're already speaking with the INL. So hopefully we will have a base of connecting employers, entrepreneurs, and educators here who will start to build a smart talent infrastructure that will have a bridge with Doha. And from that bridge, with Carlsbad and Costa Rica. And we will start to see, when we look at accelerated change, AI-driven personal talent discovery, how that can support us. That could support us in making the economy of the future. So as I promised, I will stop there. Does anyone have any questions about this project? I'm sure you do. It's a new thing. Oh, I didn't do a very good job if I didn't raise any questions. Okay. All right, so I will stop there. And I spend a lot of time in Braga. I'll be spending more. And we will get this project moving. Thank you all. Thanks to Braga, and thank you for embracing this. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Okay, we're moving on to our next panel. And I would like to welcome to the stage to talk about global digital and green talent, sustainability, vocational education, and upskilling. Oh, you need a minute? Is that it? Okay. Our guests are being mic'd up, so this is what hosts do in events. They file up with content while people are being mic'd up. So we are going to talk with a panel of panelists that will represent a very tactical infrastructure in place that is related to schooling, academia, and training as a whole, but also entrepreneurs. And we would like to welcome to the stage our moderator when he's ready to do it. That comes from IPCA, the Polytechnical School. Just a second, take your time. You can use my mic if you want to, it's also okay. How is it like the event so far? Nice? You're being nice too. Okay. Any questions or comments? Sorry? We also have some remote participants joining, so let's make sure that they are joining too. Let me know when ready. And afterwards, we will have a small coffee break in case you need to recharge. Sorry. You're the only woman, but you're a great one. Philip, are you ready?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. You want to run the introductions for the guests?
Okay. Thank you.
A warm applause for Philip coming from IPCA.
Thank you. Well, I don't know if you're listening to me. Well, I will speak loud. Maybe you can hear what I have to say. So, Alexandre, thank you. You have raised the bar very high. I'm not as eloquent as you, so I will try to take this journey on. So, indeed, we are going to talk about sustainability, vocation, and education upskilling with a panel of specialists that I believe is very interesting. Gary already talked about Espraminho, so Antonio from Espraminho will be, please join us.
Thank you.
Will be with us. Also Guilherme from Universidade do Minho is getting ready. And I know Sonia is here. Sonia probably should be next one from Best Health. So thank you for joining us.
Tudo bem.
And remotely. So Sonia is from Best Health. She's an entrepreneur. And will be joining us with the entrepreneurship point of view, the companies that will taking talent from our promoting talent. And remotely we'll have Ahmed. I believe Ahmed is already here with us. Okay, so, okay, we will start, okay. And also Boo is with us? No, okay, so only Ahmed. Well, so, maybe wait.
She has to look good.
Yeah, of course.
You're looking amazing, Sonia.
Please, join us, of course. So, I will closer to you. It's better. Well, I will try to speak in English because we have a guest, Ahmed, that probably will like to hear us in English, despite of the AI translating technology. It's very nice. So I tried to take the session. Braga has a very interesting ecosystem of not only innovation but talent, and of course promoting talent is a business itself. And over here we are looking to understand how professional schools and also special projects that the Universidade do Minho is promoting can improve talent and the connection with companies. So how talent will promote economy. So please, Antonio, can you help us and explain how Espraminho is working to promote talent and of course help companies here in this ecosystem?
Hello, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and I thank Jerry and the municipality to invite us to get on board with this project. We've been working for several months, having meetings and sharing ideas about this, how vocational schools and namely Espraminho can get on board and get his role in developing talent. We believe that, yes, all we heard before about growing talent is very helpful to promote growth and development in the city and in the country. So, like Nelson Mandela stated, we also believe that education is a most powerful weapon to make the change. So, in vocational training, we have a belief that is to develop people, we have to be connected and work in a cooperative and collaborative way with companies so that we can develop our students, make them have these talents that will help them to get in the work environment. So working with companies is the key action for us to know what we have to do to develop this knowledge and competences in the students. So promoting promoting the talent in the students will be the key action for the vocational schools. And also, it's very important. It's needed so that they can adapt to the constant changes that workplace has, and also, like we are witnessing today, the major event is about artificial intelligence. So we are also making this effort in the school to keep the students aware of these changes, and also enabling them to be on board this change and grow with it. Also in the school, we have this huge opportunity because we have became a specialized training center for IT. So we hope that also with this kind of infrastructure, we can develop more the competences and the talent in our students.
Of course. And this change in the in the workplace, of course, it affects everyone. And I believe Universidade do Minho is having some special projects to get to improve these skills of workers already. So projects like Aliança. Could you speak a little bit about this?
Thanks very much. Thanks for the invitation. My name is Guilherme Pereira. I'm pro-rector of the University of Minho, and as Philippe already shared, I'm pro-rector for special projects within the university, meaning that I'm coordinating some institutional partnerships linking the university with its partners, both on the research side and on the education side. For this panel, I would say that my experience coordinating some educational projects that are transversal to the university, to its schools and institutes, but also transversal to the university partners, companies, public, private, regional, and national organizations. So I think that was the challenge Philippe gave to me. I would say that following the European Commission priorities and also the World Economic Forum diagnosis linked with our Portuguese recovery and resilience plan, the university has structured a first big educational project with the characteristics I've mentioned it before, involving all the schools and institutes of the university, so all educational and scientific areas, and a set of almost 100 university partners with the characteristics I've also mentioned it. Together, we have been able to create and structure a set of non-degree programs, short learning programs, credited programs, and with the close cooperation with university partners. We can involve, we have been able to involve the university partners from a very early stage of the project, meaning at the phase of identifying the needs of the companies, the needs of the organizations, the specific educational areas where we should move on. So let's say we have been able to involve the partners of the university in the co-creation phase of all the around 100 short learning programs. Also, we can involve the university partners in in the implementation phase, including the effort of lecturing, effectively lecturing within the different disciplines of all these short learning programs. The aim of the university is to reach the capacity of certifying around 750 professionals each year until 2026. And since the beginning of this project, we have been able to involve already 1,200 professionals. So it's a very interesting number for the university, as it is this time that for the first time the university has been thinking thoroughly and strategically in this area of non-degrees short learning programs in cooperation with university partners.
Well, thank you. And talking about non-degree courses, what do you think about the possibility of having micro-credentials being recognized for those kind of courses?
Okay, we really think micro-credentials as a way to elevate short learning programs to a global dimension. As far as the access to the micro-credentials is concerned, but also related to the value that globally the companies and the enterprises, the organizations can reach. Micro-credentials are, well, short, focused courses in a fraction of time and cost, which is really important. They are flexible and efficient, and is definitely an efficient way to acquire specialized skills. They respond to the rapid evolving of job market. And the specific competencies and up-to-date expertise is valued by the employers, and of course the online learning platforms make credentials accessible to a global audience, which is really very important. And definitely within short learning programs, I've mentioned it before, and another set of short learning programs that perhaps later in this debate I will have the opportunity to speak about. In both projects, really the micro-credentials is the way forward, definitely.
Thank you. Okay, I also believe so. And then we are reaching to the companies. So companies should profit from this talent promotion that schools and universities are doing. So the point of view of a company, and Sonia with Best for Health, what do you think about Braga's environment for the skills, and what are you getting from us?
Bom dia a todos. Antes de mais, obrigada pelo convite. Bom, como CEO e fundadora da Best Health for You, eu tive que escolher uma cidade. Não estava a viver em Braga na altura em que decidi criar a Best Health, mas procurei onde seria o melhor sítio para nos localizarmos. Aliás, estava a viver em Lisboa e vim de Lisboa viver para Braga. E o que é que fez com que viesse para Braga na altura? Nomeadamente o facto de eu ver as competências como uma moeda de troca, de algum modo, as competências que conseguíamos ter cá em Braga, o facto de trabalharmos na Best Health for You na área da saúde, temos muito know-how crítico na zona de Braga, porque temos a Universidade do Minho, que tem a Escola de Medicina, temos o INL, como representou o Lourenço, e temos o Hospital de Braga, o Centro Clínico Académico, e foram as razões essenciais que me fizeram fixar-me em Braga. para que pudesse crescer e numa fase inicial com pessoas que não tinham tanta experiência na área empresarial como eu própria, também não tinha muita, e crescermos juntos, partilharmos o sonho e a missão de levar uma pequena empresa cujo objetivo é crescer rapidamente, escalar, como é o caso das startups, na zona de Braga fazia todo sentido para nós, porque em Portugal é efetivamente a região que mais diferenciada está nesta área. E foi assim que fomos tendo na nossa equipa pessoas que tanto vêm das biociências como da área dos materiais, dos vários graus, que sejam eles mestres, sejam eles doutorados e pessoas já com mais experiência também. E na Bestel fomos crescendo com as parcerias que fomos fazendo com os vários institutos, estivemos já no INL instalados, agora estamos instalados na Escola de Medicina da Universidade do Minho, e por isso faz todo sentido para nós termos estas colaborações e esta dinâmica com as instituições, as universidades. E quando digo instituições, não precisam ser só academia, podem ser instituições de ID, como é o caso do INL, ou escolas profissionais, onde apoiamos também os mais jovens nas mais diversas áreas, sejam elas financeiras, porque é importante também para nós, sejam elas na área do design e, claro, o know-how científico, que é o core da Bestel for You.
Excellent. So, being a startup, you are on the tip of the wave in the knowledge. So, I believe that your workers are needing to learn very fast because the change of technology is like this. So, what do you think about the responsibility of personal learning? So, how your workers can learn by themselves, and is that a good perspective for the company?
Em termos de formação dos nossos colaboradores, nós temos uma dinâmica no que toca à formação mais interna e depois também eles propõem-nos algo que acrescentaria valor tanto para eles numa perspectiva profissional a médio e longo prazo, que esteja alinhada com aquilo que são os objetivos profissionais deles, que é importante para manter a coesão da equipa e todos estarmos satisfeitos com aquilo que são as funções que desempenhamos. Falamos em formações quer mais in-house, mais dentro, quer formações mesmo no estrangeiro. Tivemos um colaborador que teve ainda há pouco tempo em Louisville, nos Estados Unidos, a fazer uma formação na área dos materiais. Tivemos outro que teve em Boston, também uma área muito específica em que trabalhamos, mas também fazemos formações junto das universidades cá em Portugal. Eu própria fiz uma há pouco na Católica, na área mais da internacionalização, e trabalhamos muito esta parte, quer do própria vontade do colaborador, da sua perspectiva mais pessoal, em termos de crescimento profissional, quer também aquilo que esteja mais alinhado com os objetivos da empresa, de uma forma geral, em termos de desenvolvimento do seu portfólio e da forma como quer escalar.
Yeah, thank you. So it's really global, this learning facility. And Antonio, talking about your technological center, and yesterday we were talking about artificial intelligence. What do you think about the ability of informal learning? So nowadays, and Gary talked about it, people are seeing YouTube videos, are coming to these conferences and learning by themselves, by just getting the information, also from the tools that artificial intelligence provides us every day. And what do you think about that for your students and for the economy? What that will impact for those actors?
That's a really good question. I think that nowadays young people are starting to learn by themselves without getting out of their own houses. And even at school, they have tools that help them to develop their knowledge, namely everything that is on internet and YouTube. It's quite common for us to see our students getting more and more information and insights also by watching YouTube videos or staying connected with nowadays the artificial intelligence platforms. So this is a very important tool for them to get to know more and more information, but also to be updated to whatever it is that is developing. I think it's very important for the teachers also to keep up with this change and use this as tools to increase the competences of our students. Of course, there are different attitudes towards this. Some of the teachers, they think that it's not reliable, it's not good, it's not helpful for the students, but others are really keen to use artificial intelligence in their own classes. And as a matter of fact, also the school policy relies on this. We have to keep up with these changes so that our students are more able to come to the labor market and be really updated to what changes are right now, today.
Well, thank you. And of course, Guilherme, Universidade do Minho is well known for artificial intelligence research. A very good group researching that technology, and the match that you are doing with companies and the needs for this technology in companies with the courses that you are developing is also being addressed, and you see a good matching between the needs and what you can provide?
Yes, definitely. I would say that in that respect, of course, in our formal degrees, let's say, bachelor's, my MSc and PhD degrees, definitely we have a great emphasis, well, not only in artificial intelligence, but on the, well, let's say, digital transition area. Well, the main topics for this particular session were really digital transition and green transition. And as far as both areas are concerned, the university responds with around 30 education projects for each of the two areas I've mentioned. On top of that, the project I've explained before, called UMinho Education Alliance Skills for a Better Future, we have developed, in cooperation with the partners of the university, 8 educational programs. Within those 8 educational programs, we have those 100 short learning programs. One of the education program is exactly digital transition, where the artificial intelligence plays an important role. Invest Braga, for example, is the main partner of the university when we started the creation of a short learning program around artificial intelligence as a way to, artificial intelligence in the, how to say it, tomada de decisão. Decision making, as a tool for decision making. That's the one. Also in the following project that I would say it would be an extension of UMinho Education Alliance Skills for a Better Future with a different target audience. The target audience for the UMinho Education Alliance is the graduate professional. For the next project called UMinho Digital Alliance Skills for a Better Future, our target audience is the non-STEAM students, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So we've created a set of 90, again, in cooperation with the university partners, a set of 90 short learning programs following the path to the micro-credentials again, within the area of digital competencies. So again, artificial intelligence playing an important role.
Okay, thank you. Sonia, I believe that this network that smart talent cities are establishing will be very important for companies. You already told us that your workers and yourself have done courses in all over the world. And of course, what do you think this can bring for your company and for other companies, this connection, this project, Smart City Talent? What do you think?
Dentro da Best Health, nós temos vários projetos, não só com instituições nacionais, mas também com instituições internacionais. Nomeadamente na equipa já tivemos pessoas que vieram de fora, que acrescentam sempre valor na perspectiva e na dimensão daquilo que fazemos. Por isso, para nós usarmos este ecossistema que se vai criar com Smart Cities e dos talentos, digamos assim, vai ser uma mais-valia para podermos também, quando olharmos para o nosso público dos nossos produtos, termos aqui uma resposta mais direcionada, mais personalizada, digamos assim, para cada um deles. Acrescenta sempre muito valor termos uma equipa multicultural, multinacional, porque é um pouco de cada um de nós que vai fazer com que nós nos diferenciemos no mercado global, que é para o qual trabalhamos.
Of course, of course, from Braga to the world.
Yeah.
And with we are running late in our time, so we are trying to keep up. And taking your answer, I will ask Antonio also his opinion about this project, Smart Talent Cities.
Yeah, when we work with our students, we always try to make them conscious that talent has a major role in their lives. Namely because we gave them this idea. Every one of us has 24 hours in the day. So if they enter the labor market with only their time to sell, they will be equal to everybody. If they have different talents, different abilities, they will have something else to sell, not only their time. So they have to invest in themselves, get knowledge and develop competencies, not only by themselves, but also something that is very important in the labor market, that is being able to work cooperatively and with a team. So with this in mind, we always are looking forward for the needs of the companies. That's why our students have internships during the programs. So in the second year and third year of the programs or the courses, they go to companies to know how people work, to get a knowledge or conscience about what are the company needs. And also to look forward for the future, because each student that is attending a vocational training is able to finish the course and start working in a company or get further ahead and go to a polytechnical institute or to the university. So knowledge and competences are the key aspects to success.
Okay. And Guilherme, for the last speaker, 2 minutes, asking also what Smart Talent Cities can bring to your project and to Universidade do Minho.
Okay. I would say that the University of Minho, we think we have within our DNA let's say the ability to interact very closely with the economy and with the society. So in every aspect of that relationship, UMinho has been really developing transformational projects within this type of cooperation. We also think that our short learning programs within UMinho Education Alliance and within UMinho Digital Alliance do really contribute to a lifelong learning strategy, which we think it's really a way to keep the pace of accelerated transformation of the economy and the society. As technology and industries evolve, continually updating skills and knowledge, this is critical for both personal and professional growth. If we do nothing, well, the rate of the knowledge rate of obsolescence is around 30% a year. So if we do nothing in 3 years, we know nothing. So a lifelong strategy is really important, and the project you've just mentioned it is one of them that are really crucial for the university interaction with the university partners.
Okay, thank you. And Sonia, you would like to finish with this remark?
Só salientar uma nota aqui relativamente às smart cities, ao talento e à forma como as diferentes instituições lidam com os desafios, digamos assim, que lhes vão aparecendo, que é a dimensão do tempo. Porque, por exemplo, as startups têm uma necessidade de crescer muito rapidamente, responder muito rapidamente em todos os desafios, e às vezes os parceiros, que são instituições mais pesadas, chamemos-lhe assim, têm maior dificuldade em responder atempadamente, e nós ficamos presos, digamos, na nossa evolução, à espera que os parceiros nos consigam, eu não digo acompanhar, não pedimos tanto, mas que nos consigam de algum modo dar a mão. Que nos consigam responder atempadamente, porque por vezes as instituições públicas têm as suas diligências que obrigam a determinados trâmites, mas que vão atrasar o crescimento das startups e que é aí que elas se diferenciam. E acho que aqui as Smart Cities podem ajudar também a que sejam mais ágeis. E estamos cá também para apoiar e dar a conhecer quais são os nossos desafios e colaborar no sentido de estreitarmos mais e agilizarmos.
Okay. So, I believe Ahmed is with us. No?
I think that
Ahmed, do you hear us?
Hi, are you referring to me?
Sorry. I don't know. It's from next session. Okay. So we are heading our session. I would like to thank you for your nice input, very important inputs for talent promotion. And of course, I believe this was a good session and we are going for the coffee break. Sorry for the confusion. And thank you for attending. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Let's go for a small coffee break, but we already have our next speaker in-house, so 10 minutes, please.
Yeah, I have there. Thank you.
See you in 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Desculpa, eu tinha que deixar. Era a minha oportunidade. Desculpa.
Estavas a ser atacado.
Let's get back. We're running late. We don't want to bump that much with the lunchtime. Salman, you're already with us, right? Can you hear us, Salman? We can't hear you. Not yet, my friend. Allow us a couple of minutes here to understand if this is something on our side or not. Perhaps you can sing a song to test the sound here. Oh, you're here with us. The song always works.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to be pleasant for the for the attendees.
I'm sure it would be, Salman. You're a great singer. I know that. We already have Salman with us, and at the stage we have André Viana from SC Braga and Jerry. Jerry, would you use my mic? Perhaps it's easier. Okay.
Hello again, everyone. So this is a very special session that we put together. This demonstrates a number of things. It demonstrates the MOU that was already signed this morning between Doha and Braga. It demonstrates already Qatar's participation in Braga through SC Braga, right? And it demonstrates bringing together virtually more people. Salman Surti, who's joining us virtually, just joined this yesterday, I think, and decided to join this session, right? Agreed to meet with us yesterday. And Andre has been joining us for, about a week now that you agreed to do the session with us, right? And the reason that I'm here is because I want to change the conversation a little bit. So yes, we're going to talk about sports tech in Doha, sports tech, of course, here in Braga. Yes, we're going to talk about innovation. But to change the conversation a little bit, I'd like to talk about cognitive performance. So again, I said that Smart Talent Cities was going to be a big experiment. Well, here's the first experimental question for both of you. When we look at sports, we think about physical performance. We think about what the athletes are doing physically. We think about physical health and how they have to be in shape. And we think about the example that that sets for youth and community, the fan engagement, the excitement. But when we also talk about talent, we're also talking about creativity, critical thinking, discipline, those forms of cognitive performance. So my question is, when we're looking at sports, what's the role of cognitive performance? And then my follow-up question is, how can that support a community of better talent? So Andre, over to you.
Okay, good morning to you all. Well, obviously performance is critical when we talk about sports. That's what sports is all about. And obviously we'll look at technology and innovation for a long time now. It's not about the SCB Innovation Hub. Obviously, we always try to improve the tools at the disposal of the players, coaches, and staff in order for us to be as much competitive as we can. So this is a very competitive world. We're not only fighting with Portuguese top clubs, but European and top clubs as well. So to get to technology and innovation first than they do is quite crucial for us. And being a challenger as SC Braga is, it's even more demanding for us to reach for new solutions in order to improve our performance. Obviously, we keep looking to that, but you've mentioned physical performance, but it's not only about physical performance. For instance, one of the startups we have with us in this innovation program this year is about mental performance. Their proof of concept is to explain how a tool, an application, can be useful to let young players know what suits them, not only in the sporting matters, but also an education, finance, legal, online abuse, what to do and what not to do, because it's not only about being a top player, it is about being an intelligent one and a clever one, because we all hear about top players making bad decisions because of lack of information, and we try to do that from the early ages, and that's an example of what we are doing at the Innovation Hub, not only on physical aspects, but on mental aspects as well. Regarding the community, and you've mentioned that, obviously it's quite important for us. One of the pillars of the program is about fan engagement, and obviously we will always try to reach the best tools in order to improve the relationship that we have with our fans, and that's quite important for us as well.
Salman, what can you tell us about sports tech in Qatar, and specifically cognitive performance and the issues that Andre raised?
Well, firstly, thank you so much, and good afternoon from a very sunny Doha. I'm not sure what the weather is like on your end, but as you know, you all can imagine, we live in the part of the world where it's mostly, it's mostly sunny. But great to join you all over here. Just as a quick introduction, I am Salman Surti. I work for Qatar Development Bank, and I'm representing Qatar Sports Tech Program, which is one of the key sports tech programs, not just in Qatar, but in the region, which was launched by Qatar Development Bank back in 2019. We were fortunate enough to partner with some of the key players and contribute to the FIFA World Cup 2022, which happened in Qatar, of course. The idea of the program was to make the World Cup in Qatar the most innovative World Cup, and I would like to say that I like to believe at least that up to a certain extent we are able to achieve that. And talking specifically to your point, I always like to, and then again, outside my work as well, I'm a huge sports enthusiast, right? I love being a part of the sport through in different areas, and I, how I like to think is that we should see sports as a in end to end, as a 360. Not just sports is not just about physical activity, right? Definitely, it has got a lot to do with your mental performance, right? Be it in terms of performance or be it in terms of recovery. So these are two of the most important key areas where we have to help and we have to empower the athletes to be able to, be it recover or be it to perform better, right? And from our end, of course, what we can do best is we can bring in technologies, or we can nurture technologies which are in place to be able to achieve this. I would like to give a small example about cognitive performance or about mental performance. We had one of the companies in our portfolio. They're called Livefy, right? They have come up with a beautiful concept. They used AI technology to create music based on each player's or each athlete's mental state. So this music will help the athlete to either calm down or to either recover better.
Wow, that's
or
super
to,
interesting. Yeah. Super
Yes,
interesting.
yes. So they are originally a Brazilian company currently based out of Germany, and we were able to pilot this technology that they have created at the Aspire Zone Foundation, which is one of the renowned sports foundation in the world. So these are the kind of use cases, or these are the kind of technologies that we like to nurture when it comes to the mental performance.
So that's super interesting. And if we look at the idea of music addressing an athlete's needs, what do you think the performance will be for the athlete? What do you will actually be able to measure that athlete's performance change?
So the extent of this specific technology is not to measure the change, it is sort of to help them recover, right? So what it does is that it takes the athlete through a certain assessment, and then based on the assessment, it judges what's the mental state of that specific athlete, and based on their mental state, it generates a music very much tailored to their specific type, and that music will help them in the recovery process, or even to perform better, right? Like, let's say they are training, they can keep listening to that music, which will help make them more calm or make them perform better in that sense. Now, of course, we do have other technologies as well, like, as part of the startups that we have in the portfolio, which helps now measure their performance, right? So I think this is one area where you bring the blocks together and connect them, where one company is helping them recover, and the other technology can help measure where they have gone.
So what's really interesting here, I think that we're talking about, Andre, I'd love for your opinion on this, is not only are we talking about technologies that personalize the process, but then we're talking about personalizing the portfolio of technologies, so that we're bringing together a whole stream of technologies that can help the athlete with their personal performance.
Absolutely.
Throughout the athletic process. So you see it that way as well, Andre?
Yes, looking at the sporting side of it, obviously the trend is to we don't look at the players the same way, because they're different. We try to know them as much as we can. Most of the technology we're using in Elfin Performance Pillar is trying to get us more and more information about the player's performance, not only what he does on training and during the matches, but also their behaviors outside the club, in order for us to understand what the impact of what they're eating, the quality of their sleeping. Well, this information is important for us in order to help the athletes in a personalized way, obviously, because they're not similar to each other. They demand from us a personal attention and a personal care in order to help them improve their skills and use their full potential.
So do you see what you're both talking about as a model for the future? Do you see that as we're talking about talent that's working in different companies, that they would also take advantage of the approach that you're trying with athletes?
Now, for instance, let me ask it first, then Salman. For instance, obviously, we look at Braga as a football club. As I told you yesterday, it's not only a football club, it's a sports club. Right. And we have some sports that are individual ones. And the trend right now in sports such as football, which are collective, as you know, is to to get some of the techniques from individual sports into collective sports, in order to keep the focus on the player himself and try to make him as better as we can. It's all about improving the player's performance.
Salman? over to you on that one. Are we setting an example that will be adopted by students and adopted by workers in companies and in banks, and as we look at personalizing performance?
Absolutely, I think so. Up to a certain extent, yes. And I think so. Where we stand, it is sort of an unsaid responsibility where we have to create this example, right? For it to go farther than just professional athletes, right? We work a lot with universities. We have startups that are working with small academies and young players in helping them scout, helping them go from stage A to stage B. So these are the areas where we try to encourage and implement these technologies or these solutions for even these young players to be able to start in a better way, right? I mean, one thing that has happened, and I guess it's a good thing to note. The whole cognitive performance or the mental health, these topics have come into discussion at a very late, in very recent times. Whereas if you go a decade ago, these were not the focus areas. We are so much more focused just on the physical side of the performance. Whereas now, thankfully and very rightfully, these things are being looked into. So I guess it's a good move, at least a good start, and I hope we are heading in the right direction with that.
Yes, I completely agree that today we are looking absolutely at mental wellness, mental health, cognitive performance. And we're also starting to look at the intersection. So we know that as we keep up cognitive performance, that should reduce the risk of dementia, that keeps people healthier. The intersection of exercise and creativity. So as we look at sports, that should give us a whole lot of indications about all of the things that we can do to support talent going forward. So I'm going to leave it there and move on to the next panel. Andre, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Salman, thank you so much for joining from Doha. We appreciate it. Thank you both.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Salman.
Thank you. Bye, Salman.
We're almost done with our agendas. I got another one. It's really funny how serendipitous things are. This topic of sports is having an increasing significance in the city just because people, and specifically SC Braga, decided to start betting on this and fostering this initiative. It's really amazing to see things scaling. We're almost done with our agenda, but we couldn't wrap the day, or the morning in this case, without talking about that is mostly related with talent flows. Where does talent navigate to? What are people looking for? How can we understand these flows, and how can we try to manage or play a role in designing these flows or embracing this inclusion? And to help us understand the topic, we have prepared a round of guests. And to DJ the conversation, we will welcome João Medeiros from Braga Municipality.
Okay, good afternoon. After all, it's good afternoon to all. First of all, let me take the opportunity to be here with you and share some thoughts around talent and global talent flows. And regarding what I have prepared and in mention of these subjects, I have to make a small introduction to be aware the importance of this matter, okay? So global talent flows refers to the movement of skilled workers across international borders. This movement is driven by several factors, including individual motivations, employer needs, government policies. But the rise of the knowledge economy has increased the demand for skilled workers, leading to a more globalized talent pool. This has both positive and negative consequences, although its benefits and its drawbacks. Global talent flows are a complex issue with far-reaching implications. How to stop brain drain, how to stop brain waste. This is something that we are going to be with the panelists, and we seek to go forward. Today we'll delve into a fascination and complex world of global talent flow. This movement of skilled individuals across borders shapes economies, communities, and personal lives, and we have a distinguished panelists here. And allow me to present one by one. I'd like to you, Patricia, to join us the floor. Patricia Pozzo is from the Rizomo Studio Foundation from Palermo, Italy. I'd like to welcome Mayor Manuel Araújo, Mayor of Quilém in Mozambique. I think we have Laura Healy in the streaming. I don't know if she's available. Also, Andrea Cabral Diaz, please join us on the floor, from Nestlé Business Services. And also Lorena Diegues, founder and director of Ruby Nanomate, who is with us. Okay, first of all, thank you so much for your attendance here. I'll start with Patricia. Patricia, we've been together for a long time ago.
Yeah, it's true.
And for us, it's always a pleasure to meet you here in Braga. And I'm going to ask you, how do cities adapt and attract and retain skilled talent?
Well, easy question, but let's start and see what happens. First of all, allow me to say that many things have been said today, and I fully agreed with most of them. That means that we really are on the same page. That is really important. I'm a member, as Joao said, I'm a member of Fondazione Rizoma, which is a private institution, but strictly connected with the public one in my country. We work with national and regional governments. And we work on this topic, in this specific topic. What we mean for talent cities. I have to make a short premise. We are in the middle of a very complicated political, social, economics, and environmental stage all around the world. Let me mention just 3 points: wars, climate crisis, and AI overall. So we need to be talent. We need talent cities. For us, talent means cities that are capable to react, to face these challenges, and above all, to address the tools we have at our disposal to increase cities' productivity, and above all, to increase a better quality of their citizens. That is our aim. I don't know if you noticed that yesterday was a huge date, because for the first time the European Council approved yesterday, never happened before, the so-called AI Act. Those are a group of rules that aims to foster development, innovation, but without forget human values, fundamental rights. That's really the key of all this story. We again, talent cities must govern the artificial intelligence, not suffered. And again, we should look at all this transformation, rethinking and renouncing also the relationship between people. And to do that, the Rhizome Cities project, for which I'm one of the two coordinators, really aim to give to the municipal approach a crucial role in doing that. The municipal approach as the main tool for the movement of people and diversity.
Okay, let me pick it up at the municipality to put the floor on our Mayor Manuel Araújo, and I'll ask you how municipality can put these efforts on the floor and with all the citizens around your city.
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity, and I want to thank Gary for really pushing for my attendance here. Well, I've been a mayor for the last 12 years, and unfortunately, I have 4 more years to go. So I wish that in my country we had a limit terms, but we don't have. So I'm stuck there, so I need to live with that. If someone asks me what's the biggest challenge that I faced in the last 12 years, I will just say single one is human resources. I mean qualified human resources, meaning that the supply of human resources is always and constantly behind the needs. And so we need a certain kind of skills to be able of responding to the challenge that we do face. The first challenge, of course, it's about promoting development, attracting capital, but also dealing with environmental and climate change challenges, because my city, it's a coastal city. And most of the times, what happens is that I need to adapt people, try to answer to those questions, because the market is not offering, is not providing the needed qualified people to the challenges I do face. So normally what I do is to deal with the universities, and one of the approaches I used was to go to the universities and speak with the pedagogic director and so on, so that on the pool of those graduates that are leaving or those at the level which are doing their research, if they could, or we together could identify either some topics of research, so that even before they finish their courses, they come to my institution, to the municipality, and because we have got something which I think it's a wealth, which is data, then we provide with them, be research institutions, universities, or even polytechnics, with the possibility for their students, their researchers, and their lecturers to come to the municipality, use our data to write their dissertation, and so on.
Okay.
And by doing so, they become familiar with the institution, and some end up working for us.
Let me pick this because it's very interesting. And I ask Andrea, how do you pick it up with this data, Braga's data? Yesterday we were talking at dinner that the jobs are increasing around Nestlé in the municipality. Is this related with some studies that you've been made for how long, and how you reached the fact that Braga was the perfect spot to put Nestlé on the floor?
Okay, thank you for the question. So to start, just to say it's a pleasure to be here in representation of Nestlé. So I work in human resources for almost 20 years, 16 in Nestlé, and today I'm in a business that the main asset is people. So we provide services worldwide. We provide services from Lisbon and Braga to the world. As Filipe was saying, from Braga to the world. In Nestlé we use from Lisbon and Braga to the world. And we have a very diverse workforce, and the choice for Braga, I usually say this is the Silicon Valley of Portugal, because we are really in a world of digital transformation. And Braga has very good schools that have been growing a lot, professional schools, universities. The municipality, I think, is doing a great job indeed.
Thank you so much.
And this is visible. We visit several cities, and you are much ahead, I must say, from other cities in the country. And this is noticed by also the economic growing. So the pool of talents, the setup you have, the easiness to speak with the local authorities, with Invest Braga, that helped a lot, is really key also to the success. I heard a lot of things today. One thing that for us is critical is the diversity and inclusion. I think this is one of the points for the talent. So the globalization, it comes, it will stay. We work with more than 40 nationalities. We have 12 working languages. We have a very diverse workforce in gender, in race, in different abled people, etc. But the key is really the inclusion. So
let me pick her up to pass the word to Laura. Hi, Laura. Are you hearing us? Laura Healy, how can we assure a more equitable and ethical approach to global talent mobility, particularly for young people? And this is based on interculturality, that is being a big footprint here in Braga, related with questions of migration. But the help is always on the top of our daily issues. Okay, we can't afford to help everyone. In the UNICEF, what you have to tell us?
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to join, and I'm so sorry I can't be there joining you in person today. So I work at UNICEF on migration and displacement, so trying to really give opportunities to some of the most vulnerable children and young people on the move to have learning and skills building opportunities and to transition into jobs and livelihoods. And what we've seen at UNICEF is that, talent is universal, but sadly, opportunity is not. And many children and young people, particularly those who are migrants or displaced, are deprived of an education, of learning to earning opportunities, and of the long-term benefits that they afford. And for adolescent girls and young women in particular, this gap between their aspirations and what they hope to achieve and the opportunities that they have can be even greater. But then at the same time, we know that migrant and displaced youth are often some of the most resilient, highly motivated people with experience overcoming adversity, and they have so much potential to really help us solve some of our greatest challenges. But it's really only when they're reached, when they're engaged, when they're equipped with the right skills that they need, that millions of migrant and displaced youth can really unlock their potential to become innovators, to become job creators themselves, and to really be pillars of families, of communities, and of their cities. So I wanted to just share with you some findings from a big survey that we did of youth on the move around learning to earning and the kinds of skills and opportunities that young people really would like to have access to. We reached 42,000 participants in a global Europort poll, and we learned that really, girls and young women who are on the move or migrant and displaced face numerous challenges when it comes to finding jobs and livelihoods compared to boys and young men. They're largely invisible, both statistically and politically, and often the hardest to reach. This could be due to many reasons, but often persistent insecurity, social tensions, discrimination can play a big role. We also saw that 4 out of 10 adolescent girls and young women on the move reported that a lack of career coaching and direction was a significant barrier. We also saw that life and entrepreneurship skills were some of the most valued competencies for girls and young women on the move, followed by digital skills. And I think this is particularly pertinent in the context of climate change and thinking through how do we equip young people with the skills that they will need to potentially move in future or to adapt in the communities where they are. So what do we need to do? From UNICEF's side, we're working to try to address these gender norms to ensure a safe learning environment for all. So really supporting adolescent girls and young women to pursue their aspirations and have access to learning and earning opportunities. And we also working to empower them and work with them as partners, which is really critical in much of our work. And it's such a pleasure to be speaking with such esteemed colleagues today, where you're obviously speaking from the city side or the private sector business side. And I think there's so much opportunity to connect the links and develop those partnerships between young people who are desperately looking to learn and foster their skills and potential to fill jobs of the future, and the cities, including obviously Braga, where so much effort and emphasis is put on this critical issue. So looking forward to further discussions to take this forward.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Is there something is missing here? And we have to talk about health, because with no mental health, we can assure that the talent won't emerge. And I ask Lorena, thank you Lorena for being here. I ask Lorena, tell me about Ruby Nanomade, okay? And also, what are the emerging trends in global talent recruitment and retention, especially in the health sector?
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here today and to participate in this panel. Indeed, Ruby Nanomed is a tech-based company, deep tech-based company in the healthcare area, and it's a startup that actually came out of a research center in nanotechnology, INL, here in Braga. So we actually face several challenges. First of all, in relation with healthcare, this is a very regulated area for all the good reasons. When we talk about deep tech, we tend to hire people that are very skilled professionals that most likely have a PhD and have had extensive training on a very particular area. And when we are talking about the startups, we need to grow really fast, we need to develop a high pool of talent, but we don't have, let's say, a very, let's say, robust base of administration that can help us to attract talent internationally. So we kind of have to face these three things all in parallel. And I think the common ground for all three things are the ecosystem. The ecosystem is the basis for all of these three things to thrive. And we have been very lucky to be here in Braga because we not only have amazing talent coming out of the universities, but we also have research institutes, as it was our case, that have lots of talents that are coming internationally to INL that then are actually coming into the startups that have been growing in the city. We have also had the support of Invest Braga and Startup Braga to help us, train ourselves, because the life of an entrepreneur and of any professional should be constant training and growth. And with regards to barriers, we are also very lucky to be very close to the border of a different country, and I myself, you can tell by my accent probably, I come from Spain, and nowadays almost half of the employees of Ruby Nanomed are not Portuguese and are coming from abroad, in particular from Spain, but also from the US. So these are more or less let's say, the three pillars that we are trying to focus on.
Okay, thank you so much. The global talent landscape is constantly evolving, and what are some of the biggest trends you're witnessing in your respective fields? I'd like to pass the word to Andrea.
On the global trends, and specific in Nestlé, we have we have now this remote flexibility, the well-being, all this is across all companies. It's not Nestlé specific. I think there is a big work around also Nestlé, the symbol is a nest, so it really, the purpose is to nurture the people that it impacts. And I'm not only talking about the employees, but also the consumers, the clients, etc. But here, there is a lot of challenge because we need to do an internal work also with the leaderships. It's really key. If we can say the faits divers of everything that we can cope with the best trends, but if we don't have the proper internal ways of doing this, people will not have the engagement, will not feel proud on working on the company, etc.
Okay.
So this is something that we need to adapt to be able to retain the best
Very good,
talents.
very good. Thank you. By speaking of nurturing, I have a question to the mayor, Manuel Araújo. Quelimane is approaching the challenge of brain drain while nurturing local talent. What's the strategy beyond this?
Well, the strategy that we put in place was first of all to bring in not only the municipality plus the university in Quelimane, but also to add in the public sector in general, like the provincial government, and the private sector. So the innovation there was the bringing in the private sector, because the private sector then could tell us what are those areas that they are also lacking in terms and the qualification that they need. Then we will match with what the university were offering, and then so there we will see what could be done to retain those who are there, but also try to create incentives for, first of all, to retain those qualified in key areas, but also to create incentives for others in certain areas to come to our city, like reserving special zone for like trained people or for a certain company, like zoning to make sure that they feel kind of appreciated, but also that their skills were valued in the local. So that dialogue between public and private think tank and the academic sector was of a paramount importance in devising a strategy to retain, but also to attract. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much. Laura, are you with us? Yes? Okay, Laura, what are some specific initiatives that UNICEF is heading to empower young people to this phenomenon of the global talent flow?
Thank you. Yeah, just picking up on what the mayor was saying, I think this idea of incentives is critical from the other side as well, to actually incentivize young people to pursue the opportunities that will lead to fill job caps or fill jobs of the future. And thinking through the connections there is so key. From UNICEF side, one of our big priorities is around supporting portable skills, portable learning to earning opportunities. And we do this in multiple ways. We have a learning passport, which is basically access to digital learning opportunities that can be accessed anywhere, that can be recognized across borders, in order to allow young people on the move to maintain that connection to learning, but also their credentials. But one example I would really like to speak to today is the Youth Agency Marketplace. It's called YOMA for short, which is a digital platform or a digital ecosystem really that supports migrant and displaced youth as they engage in social impact tasks, volunteering, learning and earning opportunities. And it was really formed in response to many of the challenges that youth on the move face, including this recognition for portability of skills and to promote youth-led solutions. And it works by helping young people identify personalized learning pathways to match their aspirations and their talents, and then connecting them with the jobs and entrepreneurial opportunities provided by a range of different partners, so both private sector enterprises as well as educational and academic institutions. And this is particularly valuable for youth on the move without credentials or social networks. It really gives them the chance to build this digital verifiable CV that's portable and can help demonstrate their skills and really increase their employment potential. So the benefits also spread to the employers, the businesses and other partners, so giving them the opportunity to actually identify talent and support to really skill talent to fill local job gaps, which has huge benefit to communities, cities and economies. So our next move is to really work to grow this model, and all in partnership with young people themselves. We have a youth reference group that helps us actually shape the initiative and shape the way we reach displaced and migrant populations. And to get there, we're really looking to partner with more businesses, more entities, more skilled training institutions, so we can really explore ways to empower and foster the potential of young people on the move. Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much. Lorena, back to you. And then Patricia. Patricia, I'll ask you something more spicy, okay? But at the end. How are you attracting talent?
You know, it's very complicated when you are in a startup because you cannot compete on salaries most of the time. You cannot compete many times on job stability. So you have to compete on the excitement of the work that you're developing, but you also have to show an ecosystem once again. And when people are applying to jobs, and in particular in healthcare, there's a lot of mobility from company to company. So, you know, professionals stay on the same company for a very short amount of time. But in a startup, that's a challenge because you cannot just train somebody and then have them leave. You don't have any replacement. So when people are looking into the job market, they are looking into flexibility. These days, they are looking into remote working possibilities, which when you're working in a laboratory, they are not possible at all. So you need to compete with something else. And having the opportunity of competing in healthcare, education, you know, the opportunities for the professionals to transition into their next job and to bring their family along and to have education opportunities for their families and, you know, a good support from the city council and so on, those are very valuable. And we are lucky here that we are capable of attracting talent to Braga because it's indeed a city that is thriving. Then the other question is not just the attraction, but the stabilization. And that's even more challenging when startups have a very short life cycle and a lot of risk. However, we are lucky also here that we have European, but also Portuguese programs that help us stabilize talent. And they help us open contracts that enable us to hire people permanently after the second year. And that's what we are using, as well as flexibility, to allow very diverse employee base to thrive in our environment.
Okay, thank you so much. Patrícia. Minha querida Patrícia.
Oh, what's happening? Tell me.
We've been working for a long time, and the progetto, the Rizoma project, had been working in the phenomenon of the restitution. Okay, and let me put it on some salty and pepper on the discussion. How talent must be put it on capping talent,
well,
and the phenomenon of the restitution beyond talent and retaining talent.
Good question. Well, Jerry said before that talent cities are green cities, are smart cities, are sustainable cities. I would add one more definition. They must be a democratic space where people from different origins can live together and create new forms of solidarity and connection across the world. Now, avoiding the mistakes of the past, that's for sure. How we can do that, how we can manage that? I would say to rewrite and contribute to rewrite with a new narrative. By doing what? First of all, sharing best practices, knowledging, understanding each other, people first. As we said at the very beginning of this matinee, first our heart and then our brain. That's, I mean, it's something very easy to say, not to act in that direction. But we are committed with the Rhizome Cities project. We are committed to empowering the social agents and citizens in the field of intercultural diversity as a tool for the acceptance of diversity.
And
So
Braga is able to join you on the
let
project
me-
Rhizome
Let
2.0.
me tell you that Braga has been one of our first Rhizome cities. It's a crucial one. It's very helpful in the growth of our network. That's for sure. So that
Okay, thank you so
really
much. We are running a little bit of time. I have 10 minutes, I don't know, and I'm beyond these valuable insights from each panelist. I want to delve deeper to the audience, okay? And I'm gonna give you the opportunity if anyone in the audience wants to ask something to one of our distinguished guests. I don't know if there anyone. Okay, it's lunchtime. It's usually it's normal that people
went to it.
and so able to put some questions. Thank you to our esteemed panel and the audience for this stimulation discussion. Global talent flows presents a complex landscape with immense potential. As we navigate this issue, collaboration and responsible practices are crucial. Let's continue this conversation and work towards a future where talent can contribute to a more and an even more prosperous and equitable world. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you to you all.
Thank you all for joining. You're ready to go, and we're done. Let's keep the conversation open and make sure that we make these seeds actually flourish and keep up for the next generation of Braga as a talent ecosystem. Thanks for joining.